hello to everyone present today and welcome you to the 2017 Stanley County Chamber of Commerce Annual Meeting. My name is Kathy Allman and I am honored to serve as your President and CEO of your Stanley County Chamber of Commerce. I am grateful for the support of everyone in this room today and for the support of the entire community, and happy to have you at our first luncheon annual meeting. We've got a great crowd. Thanks for being here. At this time, I want to call to the stage and recognize Kerry Weaver. Kerry is the executive pastor of Vortex Church. He's husband to our chamber marketing director, Sarah Weaver, and he's also a chamber ambassador. Kerry will provide our invocation.
Would you pray with me? Father God, we come to you today, and it is an honor to gather in a room with so many people who care so much about our community, about our county. Father, it's in your word that you call us to seek the welfare of the cities where you've sent us, to pray to you on their behalf, because in their welfare we will find our welfare. So God, today we pray for wisdom for those among us who are elected officials and civic leaders. God, we pray for success for those who are business leaders, because we know that in their welfare, we find the welfare of our cities. So God, I thank you for all those who care so much about our community, that they're willing to invest their time, their energy, and their resources into the lives of those around them. I pray that you will honor this time. God, we are thankful for the opportunity to gather, for the food that we're enjoying, for the company of those around us. God, I pray that new connections are made and that through this we see a renewed season for Stanley County. God, that you will do something new in the lives of the people, that you'll bring success to businesses, that you'll bring newfound prosperity to the area. We're grateful for the opportunity to gather. We pray all of this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Kerry. We appreciate you sharing those lessons with our group today. I also want to say that now we've blessed the meal, I want to say thank you to Stephanie Freeman and to Chef Jennifer and the entire special events team here at Carolina's Healthcare System. Awesome, awesome food. Amazing job. Thank you all. I also, of course, am going to recognize several groups of folks, and I'm going to start out first with our annual meeting sponsors. You should have a program on your table. If you look at the back of the program, you're going to see our meeting sponsors today. They are Carolina's Healthcare System Stanley, Stanley Community College, URA Bank, and then we also want to recognize our program sponsors, Duke Energy and Electricities. So we thank each of you for being program sponsors today. I also want to thank a special personal friend, as well as a longtime friend of the Chamber and our Stanley County community, and that's Ms. Charlotte Manus. I've lost Charlotte. I don't know where she is at the moment. Thank you, Charlotte. Charlotte is always willing to share her musical talents with those in our community and so many places, and for that I'm forever grateful. So thank you. I also want to take a moment to recognize a very special guest that we've got in the room today. I had to make sure he was here before I came to the stage, because I knew he was supposed to be here, and that is my predecessor at Stanley County Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Tom Ramsor, who started our chamber for many years. Tom, thank you for all the hard work you put into the Chamber of Commerce, and I thank you for your continued support, and we are very, very happy to have you with us here today. So thank you for being here. Our Stanley County Chamber is privileged to have a very strong group of community leaders, those that are willing to serve as members of our board of directors, and this is our Chamber Leadership Board, those folks who guide us on a monthly and daily basis. Their names are listed inside your program. You're going to see the retiring board members at the bottom on the left, our recognition of 2016 retiring board members, and also our 2017 incoming leadership board members. If you all would take just a moment, please, and stand to be recognized, both the 16 and the 17 board members that are here with us today. Thank you all. We operate now with a 7-member leadership team, and it's a great group to work with. I appreciate you all for sharing time and talents. The Chamber is also very fortunate to have dedicated and talented staff who supports our members and keeps the Chamber operating on a day-to-day basis. I'd really like to thank these Chamber ladies for their fierce independence and their creative spirit by recognizing them now and asking them to please stand. That would be Sarah Weaver, our Director of Marketing, and Nikki Thompson, our Operations Support Staff. Thank you, ladies. Sarah and Nikki are what make it all possible, so thank you. Our Chamber ambassadors. These dedicated volunteers come from across all of our communities. They're willing to serve on a year-round basis as an effort of sort of customer service relations and representatives for the Chamber. These ambassadors act as liaisons. They work between the Chamber and its members, and their names are listed in your copies of the annual report that's at your table, as well as in the Chamber membership directory, the new one that we have available on the tables today too. I would like to ask if you are a Chamber ambassador for 2016 or this year for 2017 and you're present today, please stand and be recognized. Always thank you for your support, and we've got a great group coming along this year that's going to be out and helping us with many ribbon cuttings and events. We can't do it without you, so thank you, ambassadors. Our past Citizen of the Year winners. Just a little bit later in the program, we're going to recognize our very first 21st Citizen of the Year recipient. But I'd also like to pause for just a moment and acknowledge 3 of our past recipients of the Citizen of the Year Award who our community has lost this year. That would be Mr. C.B. Crook, Mr. Carl Buck Hill, and also Ms. Annie Ruth Kelly. I would like to thank each of them for their legacy of service that they have left for our community, and I know you all can agree with me on that. I'd also like to ask that if those present in the room are past recipients of our Citizen of the Year Award, and you're here, please stand so that we can recognize you. These folks are great leaders in our community, and they continue to be. And I can tell you that when this group comes together to select the next recipient for the Citizen of the Year, I enjoy that conversation so much. You're a great group, and we thank you for all you have done and continue to do for Stanley County. Now, there's also another group I want to recognize for their decades of leadership. Stanley County Chamber of Commerce started in 1936, and we've been around a long time. And these folks have served our chamber by providing vision and leadership throughout our long-standing history. Their names are inside of the membership directory since 1936, all those who have chaired our board. And I would like to ask those present today, if you have served as chair of the board of the Stanley County Chamber of Commerce, please stand so that we can thank you for your service. Thank you all so much. Now, the Chamber is also very proud to work in partnership with our elected officials and our government agencies from the national, state, and local levels. And I would like to ask all elected officials that are in the room today to be stand and recognized as well. Great group of leaders we have in the room, and I'm very proud to be here with you today. So thank you all. Now comes the time that we want to recognize some very, very special people to the Chamber and its programs. These are our annual award presentations. First, we're going to present our annual Ambassador of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Electricities of North Carolina Incorporated, and it's going to be presented by the 2015 Ambassador of the Year. I would like to welcome Mike Mazingo, Supervisor of Business Development Services for Electricities of North Carolina, as well as Tommy James, our 2015 Ambassador of the Year, to the stage to make the presentation for this year.
On behalf of everyone at Electricities, and especially our members here from Albemarle, we're very pleased to be a sponsor of this award. Thank you, Mike. All right, we'll start off first by saying it's been a fun year to be an Ambassador of the Year for 2015. It's been a good year for ambassadors. I think we started this year with 5 to 7 members, and now we're up to 20 plus members and ambassadors, which really helped the Chamber ladies, Sarah, Mickey, and Kathy. So, another good thing, when you win this award, your life changes. You end up having a baby, you end up getting married, you end up having to your house. I guess you guys know the jam now, so prepare. Make sure you. But to start out, I'm not going to talk too long, but Jan is an amazing woman, really. If you really know her, there's two sides to her. I mean, she's professional, polite, genuine, but she's also got a dark, medium, good side, and good dark side. We met at Leadership Stanley class. We were in the class of 2014 together. And first, I was injured in my arm, and she had an injured knee, I believe, at the time. So we were two crips holding everybody back. So we finally figured out that we could become class clowns. So the times we were not involved, we were planning the next little joke that we can do. So, I put a few little bullet points about Jan. Jan's from, I know, California, LA area, and she moved here in, I think, 1996 to work for North Carolina. I believe she worked in Matthews for a while, but in 1993, I think she was looking for a house in California. It was too expensive, so she looked this way because she had family members here, and she really loved North Carolina. And it's good that she chose Stanley County. We're lucky to have her, but out of all the counties in North Carolina, she chose this one out of LA. So that says a lot for our county and what we have to offer. So in 93, she bought the house. 96, she moved. She worked for Ortho for, I think, 9 to 10 years. And she was a triage nurse, patient information nurse. Then she decided to change careers and went to community hospice, which is who she's with now. And I don't think you could have a better person that you, I didn't want to say bedside, but in those trying times for Jan. Make sure I don't miss anything on that. On top of Jan being the Ambassador of the Year, me and her both have been to a lot of ribbon cuttings, a lot of business after hours. Anytime there's an event, she's there to help. She's on one side of the ribbon, and I'm on the other side. If it's not Mickey holding one side, we'll tug of war and see who can hold the ribbon to be cut. So after those meetings and after those ribbon cuttings, I'm not as good as I should be, but that she's constantly. So if you have a new business, she's out pushing it, social networking, word of mouth, first time Sarah shares it, it's not 5 seconds later. Jan's gonna do the same thing and have a story behind it. So as a business owner, I would love to have that. So that's really impressive for Jan to do that, so. Make sure. Well, there's one more thing, but I've been working on it. They told me I cannot speak to this topic, so I guess I should just leave it there. I have wrote down, but I'm sorry. Y'all want the information, I'll tell y'all that after each meeting. Anyway, congrats to Jan Getz for Ambassador of the Year 2016.
Well, thank you very much for this honor. When Kathy told us at our ambassador meeting, I was just taken aback because I do what I do for the chamber and for this county because I love it. And it's true, I moved here 21 years ago because I fell in love with it when I would come and visit my family. And when I was looking for a house in California, as you can imagine, I couldn't afford to even buy a garage. So I started looking here, and one day, my cousin's wife, Marlette, and I were driving down 73, and I looked up on a hill. There were cows up there and a silo, and I said, this is where I want to live. And I moved here in '96. In May, it'll be 21 years, and I've never, ever woken up and thought, what have I done? And coming from a large city of Los Angeles to Stanley County, a lot of people are like, what made you move here? But people don't realize the gem that we have here. And I love it. I plan to hopefully live the rest of my days here. And I don't have any plans to move. I just love it. In 2014, when I did the Leadership Stanley, I learned so much about this county, even things that people that have been born and raised here did not know. So if you haven't done Leadership Stanley, I really advise you to do it because it just opens your eyes to the beautiful things that we have here, what this county has to offer. And I fell in love with the chamber, and I fell in love with what the chamber does for businesses and for the citizens of the county. And so I just said, any way you need anybody to volunteer, I'd love to do it. And so last year was my first year, and I loved it. I loved being at all the events. I love meeting the new people that are opening business and doing things, and I'm, committed to do it as long as I physically can. Lastly, I've had 3 men in my life that were father figures to me. One was my father, Jack Getz, who I lost when I was 15 or 17 years old, and he was 50. He was a great man of integrity and character, and he had one brother, an uncle, my Uncle Ted, who I lost 4 years ago, who was another man of just great character and his integrity. He would give me advice, fatherly advice that I never had the chance to get from my father, and I lost him 4 years ago. And the third gentleman is Joe Godwin, my cousin, who I lost last October. And it's because of those 3 men and their influence on my life that every morning I wake up and I think, what am I going to do today? And I want to make them proud. And so it's with great honor that I accept this, but I accept this in the memory of those 3 men, because without their influence in my life, I wouldn't be standing here before you.
Thank you, Jan, for sharing your time and your talents as well as those words with us. Mike, let me thank you and Electric Cities again for being a sponsor. You have been for many, many years, and we appreciate your continued support for our Ambassador of the Year. Our ambassadors are special to us, and I thank each of you for all that you do. I also want to take a moment to recognize last year's award recipient. This was our 2015 recipient for Citizen of the Year, and that's Mr. Troy Alexander. Troy, I want to thank you for being with us today. If you would stand or raise your hand, please. Thank you so much. I've known Troy a number of years, and you're a man I admire and respect very much. So thank you for all that you do. Now we're going to present our annual prestigious Citizen of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Duke Energy, and I'd like to welcome Randy Welch, the District Manager and Government Community Relations for Duke Energy Carolinas, to the stage.
Good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be with you today. I am Randy Welch, District Manager for this region for Duke Energy, and it's my honor and privilege today to once again partner with the Stanley County Chamber of Commerce to present the Duke Energy Citizenship and Service Award here at Stanley County. For more than 10 years now, Duke Energy has partnered with chambers across the state to recognize outstanding community leaders. We are honored to have that opportunity once again here in Stanley County today. The criteria for this award includes the following. First of all, the Stanley County Chamber individual that demonstrates a commitment to service and civic participation over a sustained period of time for this community. Second criteria, this citizen sets a standard and fosters a culture of citizenship and service and community responsibility. And lastly, demonstrates one or more of these business and community values: integrity, stewardship, inclusion, and initiative. Today's recipient, Dexter G. Townsend, demonstrates all of this and much more every day. So let me share a little story of his story with you today, if I might. Dexter considers himself a lifelong resident of Albemarle. However, he was born in the Bronx of New York. After graduating from Albemarle Senior High in 1986, he decided to enter the workforce. However, he also recognized that it was also important to continue his education. So while working full-time, he enrolled at Stanley Community College. That was a great move. There he received, in 1988, an Associate of Applied Science degree in Business Administration and studied criminal justice. It was during this time frame that he was reunited with his high school sweetheart, Tina Scott. They married in 1993, 24 years ago. How time flies, I'm sure he'll tell you. They are proud parents of daughter Lyric, who is 16 years old and a junior at Stanley Early College. Dexter enjoys spending time with family, cooking, and grilling. So I'll be over tonight. He graduated from Stanley Chamber of Commerce Leadership Program in 2013. He was appointed to fill the vacant council seat of the late T.E. White. He represents constituents District 1. He began his career with Perform line of products in Albemarle 15 years ago and is currently a production supervisor. Our recipient has been active in numerous organizations in Stanley County and the city of Albemarle. Let me share a few of those with you. Albemarle City Council District 1, Stanley County chapter of the NAACP, Friends of the E.E. Watt Institute, North Carolina Black elected municipal officials, and president of Anderson Ridge Homeowners Association. His past affiliations are noted as well: Stanley County Arts Council, Elite Social Club, United Way Allocations Committee, Men Making a Difference, Phi Beta Lambda, Stanley Community Outreach, Albemarle Downtown Corporation, Stanley Lodge 88, Free and Accepted Masons, Prince Hall affiliated, Gaston County Action Board of Directors, past trustee, board member of Union Chapel A&E Zion Church. That's an impressive list, isn't it? Dexter is currently a council member of the city of Albemarle. In this role, he is focused on moving the city forward. It is his desire to promote balanced growth while implementing a strategic land use plan, create a positive environment for jobs in the community, focus on community development, and most importantly, listen closely to the voices and concerns of the citizens in the community. According to Billy Gray, program supervisor of the Waddell Community Center, Dexter Townsend knew there was still many needs in the community when T.E. Tim White passed away, and he wanted to carry on the goodwill and the great work that Tim was doing. Supporting the friends of the E.E. Waddell Center and being a voice for the community within the city of Albemarle is something that Dexter has done for many, many years. It was only natural that he would want to represent his community and his District 1 on the Albemarle City Council. And as with most all things, Dexter serves willingly and with a smile on his face. Dexter shared his thoughts regarding the opportunity to serve constituents as well. And this is Dexter's words. I feel blessed to have had the opportunity to grow up in such a community like Stanley County, as many, the quality of life which I've been exposed to have been more than rewarding for. I grew up during a period of time where the phrase, "it takes a village to raise a child," had true meaning. My mentors coming up through the years were not isolated to one or two individuals, but I attribute my accomplishments to all the teachers, the pastors, the church members, and community members who provided guidance, and if necessary, appropriate discipline. Now, Dexter's a big guy, so I like to see anyway, but more importantly, I appreciate all the extended prayers. It is my desire to represent and serve my constituency willfully and faithfully in a professional manner, as I value the opportunity to serve and never take such an opportunity for granted. It has been my direct affiliation with the Phi Beta Lambda organization while at the community college that I developed an interest to get more involved in various community activities. Even prior to my initial appointment to the Albemarle City Council, I followed very closely various issues and concerns in local government and mentored by the past elected officials and community leaders. Upon the vacant council seat following the death of the late Councilman T.E. White, I was truly humbly honored at the opportunity to continue ensuring that all citizens had a voice at the table in the decision-making processes as we continually strive to make Albemarle and Stanley County a community that can be viewed as a model of excellence. Great words, Dexter. City of Albemarle Mayor Ronnie Michael comments, Dexter is a valuable member of our city council. He is well respected in his community and in the business community. He shows great concern for the citizens of Albemarle and looks to enhance services for all the city wherever possible. The city currently has many projects underway, and Dexter understands the importance of these projects for the future of our city and our county. Michael Ferris, Albemarle City Manager, also acknowledged Dexter's work by stating, Dexter has always been extremely community-oriented. Whether he served on city council or not, he would still be heavily involved, as is evident, and it is evident he enjoys his involvement and believes in making a difference. As a member of our Albemarle City Council, he is dedicated to the needs of all our citizens and to providing economic growth and opportunities for our residents. Dexter's passion and efforts are focused on making Albemarle and Stanley County a better place to live and work. When Dexter was asked, what makes you smile and warms your heart, he replied, when projects and initiatives that people have worked hard to accomplish actually come to fruition and they're able to see the benefits of their sweat equity. So, on behalf of approximately 30,000 Duke Energy employees, the Stanley County Chamber of Commerce, and a grateful community, ladies and gentlemen, please help me congratulate the winner of the 21st Stanley County Citizen of the Year and the Duke Energy Citizenship and Service Award this year, Dexter G. Townsend.
presenting awards than I do receiving. That's why they say it's always greater to receive, greater to give than to receive. Wow, this is a true example of what God's blessings, what they mean when they say that God's blessings are far beyond measure. But this is a moment that I would have never imagined Dexter G. Townsend standing on this stage receiving such an honor. Thank you all. Thank you all. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations to Jan Getz on being Ambassador of the Year. Thank you. I can't help but just extend a thanks to the Chamber of Commerce and its entire leadership team for even considering me for this award here today. The members of the Chamber, I know you all put a lot of time and energy into making this community what it is today, and obviously we reap the rewards from when we see the quality of life that everybody has to enjoy. I want to extend a special heartwarming thanks to Randy Webb from Duke Energy, thanks again. Mayor Michael and the City of Albemarle staff and members of the Albemarle City Council. Mr. Troy Alexander, you know, that's a gentleman that I can say from the bottom of my heart, who was last year's recipient, that's a true role model. When and if I ever grow up, I want to be more like her. To Ms. Pam Bramlett, I seen her in here somewhere. I think she was the recipient the year before that. You know, I think Ms. Bramlett, she's an individual. I look and see some of the things that she do in the community as well when she was the recipient of the Citizen of the Year Award. I think somehow she found a way to get more than 24 hours in a day in order to accomplish everything that she does. You know, I have with me today my lovely wife, Tina, my grandmother who just relocated down here to see what we talk about when we say the quality of life in Stanly County is so good. She just relocated from Long Island, New York. I have with me my sister, Tamika, and my daughter, Lyric. You know, as I look around this room, I see so many individual faces, the people that stood earlier, that had been past leadership members of the Chamber of Commerce and served in various capacities. Many of you give so much of your time, your talent, and your resources, and that's what makes Stanly County what it is today. Stanly County is the reason, the things that you've done to make Stanly County what it is the reason that I'm proud, not only just to be the recipient of this award, but to be able to call Stanly County home. You know, I hope and pray that whenever we get to that point in life where Stanly County, I don't know, I'll be honest with you, I'm not often nervous, you know, but I'll be honest with you, I'm nervous for the you know, I just hope and pray that we continue to grow as a community. And reflecting back on, as I stand here, reflecting back on the various organizations and stuff that I've ever been affiliated with, any projects that I've ever been a part of, I've never stood and done anything as individual recognition or anything of that nature. I stand today and accept this award because, on behalf of all those organizations, because I represent you all. I don't represent Dexter G. Townsend whenever I do anything. I can't recall not one particular incident where it was just me alone. So all together, this is an overall team concept. And thank you all for everything that you've done, and thank you for considering me for this award. Thank you.
I've known Dexter quite a while, and he's usually not speechless, so thank you and Duke Energy again for sponsoring this award today. Dexter, I know you're excited to have your family here with you, as well as friends and members with Albemarle City Council, and we're glad to have representatives from Freeform Line Products here today too, so thank you all for being here to support Dexter as well. Now comes the time that I want to recognize and thank our 2016 retiring leadership board members. If you would help me welcome to the stage Mr. Ed Shimpock, our 2016 and 17, or 15 and 16 board chair, Christy Jackson, treasurer, Jennifer McSwain, our programming chair, and also Michelle Carver, our membership chair from 2016. If I could get you all to come to the stage. I don't think Christy Jackson's with us today, but I know Michelle and Jennifer are, if I can get them to come on. These are retiring members from our leadership board for the past year. Ed's really glad. Ed's retired from a lot of things, and I'm sure he's probably going to tell you about that. But I do want to thank Jennifer McSwain for serving as our programming chair for 2016. I also want to acknowledge and thank Michelle Carver for serving as our 2016 membership chair. Both of these ladies have served Stanley County Chamber of Commerce for many years and in many ways as ambassadors and committee members. Thank you so much for all that you have done. As I mentioned, Christy Jackson, who was our treasurer, she's also a CPA. For those of you all that know what kind of season it is, it's tax time. And when I spoke with Christy, she regretted that she could not be with us today. I do want to acknowledge and thank Ed Shimpock, who's been with us for 2 years as our board chair. First time we've ever had someone serve 2 consecutive years as the board chair. He's reminded me of that several times during 15 and 16. I want to thank you for all you've done to lead our chamber through many transitions and to get us to a sustainable future. And I appreciate all that you have done for our Chamber of Commerce. At this time, we're going to do the official election of our 2017 Leadership Board members, do the official business of the day. And our nominating committee has put forth the following slate of names for the 2017 Leadership Board. If you all will please stand when I call your names. For our board chair, Mr. Sean Hatley. For our chair-elect, Mr. George Crooker. Treasurer, Mr. Will Honeycutt. Leadership and Education Chair, continuing into this year, Ms. Carol May. As Legislative Chair, Mr. Tate Osborne, continuing on, thank you. For our incoming Membership Chair, Ms. Tracy Hayes. And our incoming Programming Chair, Ms. Lori Ivy. This slate of names comes as a motion with a second to accept for the 2017 Leadership Board of the Stanley County Chamber of Commerce. Are there any additional nominations from the floor? If not, do I have a motion to close these nominations? Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second that the nominations be closed. Will all members present who agree with closing the nominations signify by saying aye? Aye. Opposed? Thank goodness. Now, will all members who accept the slate of nominations as presented by the nominating committee please signify by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you and congratulations to our 2017. Now, at this time, I'm going to ask the 2016 Leadership Board Chair, Mr. Ed Shimpock, to come back and make a few remarks about his years on the board. I hope he's going to be kind to me. And want him to pass the gavel on to Mr. Sean Hatley for 2017.
Thank you, Kathy. This is a good day. I remember when I started with the chamber, one of my friends, Mr. Tom Ramseur, co-hooked me somewhere and said, man, how about coming and helping serve on the Chamber of Commerce? That was about 8 years ago. I had no idea what I was going to be doing, and he assured me that several others on there didn't know either. So we got along real well. Enjoyed my 8 years on the chamber, to find out that last year and the year before, I was the first to serve 2 full years. As we went through a complete reorganization of the chamber, and it was quite an ordeal. We spent a lot of time, a lot of hours. It was a challenge, but we did it. And with Kathy's leadership as president and the other people on the chamber, we spent those hours not in vain. We've seen a lot of victory come out of it. We see a lot of positive and plus things for the chamber now. I met a lot of friends during that time, a lot of associates. I would say probably over half the people in this room, I did not know you before I got involved in the Chamber of Commerce. So it's a great thing to be in an organization like this, and I encourage you, if you're here as a visitor today and have never been involved in the Chamber, get involved. It's a great organization, and you'll win a lot of friends, and you'll learn a lot of things about people, organizations, towns, everything that's really important in Stanley County. You know, Dexter mentioned a while ago that he was nervous, and sometimes I find myself nervous speaking to Dexter, but my dad was a minister, and one of the things I remember, he said, it wasn't so bad if his knees were shaking. When his knees started missing, that's when he got it. But one little thing I wanted to mention, you know, everything's high tech right now. And my wife and I been playing with text. You know, we're not really high tech people. But recently, I don't know if any of you know this, maybe some of you do, I just sold my company, Seven Oak Stores and Hardware, and I have retired. So I'm enjoying that, by the way. I have no regrets. I think it's a wonderful thing. If you haven't tried it, it might be for you one day. But we were playing texting and using the communications, and after we were messaging back and forth with my wife's name's Lynn, I jokingly commanded Siri to pass along a message, and it says, "You need to get back to work now. You have a husband to support." Well, this is what Siri sent. "You need to get back to work. You now have a has-been." So here I am. A has-been chamber, a has-been. That's wonderful. But anyway, today I have the great pleasure of passing this gavel on to a friend, a man who has become a real friend of mine in Oakboro. And Sean and I met many years ago when he was the owner of Bray. That's a water reclamation company at that time. And he taught me some stuff about reclaiming water, and I almost was going to put a reclamation system in my house and pump water in it, and all of a sudden I found out the county said, you can't do that in Stanley County. So I wasn't able to do it. But anyway, we developed a relationship at that time. And then he comes up with this new company called the Naked Pig Meat Company. And he and his wife Jenny opened that, and has been quite successful with it. And as you know, they were the Small Business of the Year 2 years ago, I believe it was. And they have kind of put another star in Oakboro's crown down there. And now Sean is involved with Sunrays Farms. But I know that the thing about Sean and his leadership and my leadership will be different. Mine's kind of fly by the seat of your britches. And Sean is all about data and making it work, click, 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 click. Mine worked well during the time it was needed. But now they're going to make some serious leadership with Sean on the Hill now. So at this time, I'd like to ask Sean to come up. I'd like to pass this gavel off to him. And you're very blessed to have Sean Hatley as your new leader and chairman of the board.
Howdy. Howdy. This is where I make a speech or something? Woo! We have good attendance today. Thank you all for coming out.
Time he's had a towel.
This is not pigware by any means. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you. I'm humbled by this tremendous responsibility. I look at the names dating back to 1936, and I'm surrounded by a lot of important people to our community. And so I'll just take this time to give you a little background about who we are. Thank my wife, my lovely bride, 10 years in the making, or we've been married for 10 years. And wonderful kids at the house. We got a 6-year-old boy and a 7-year-old boy, Blake and Eli. But we are, I'll be honest, 8 years ago at Bray, I didn't know what the Stanley County Chamber of Commerce was. I wasn't a member, and I didn't see the value in it. And as we grew that company, we were able to successfully sell it to a public company out of Massachusetts. And there were a lot of people surprised that we had created a company like that in Oakboro, sold it, and not been a member of the Stanley County Chamber of Commerce. And so we did round two. What are we going to be after we successfully sell a company? That's the American dream that a lot of business entrepreneurs aspire to. And so we said, well, farming. You know, it seems like a good business to get into, right? How many farmers are in the room? No farmers? How many extension agents are in the room? Thank you. So we said farming. Well, why farming? Well, my family's from Stanley County. My mom's from Ridgecrest. My dad's from Oakboro. And they met and moved to Mint Hill because at that time, their generation, success was when you left the farm. You got a corporate job and you left the farm. And so I said, well, we're crazy enough to go back to the farm. So that's what we've done. We're the 4th generation to be stewards of our family farm there at Oakboro, started by my great-grandparents. And my granddaddy had pigs on the ground, and so we said, okay, well, we'll get some pigs too, and we'll start a meat business, and everybody will come buy our meat, and we'll have our butts on everybody's table. It works like that, Simon. We have a lot of great customers here, and we appreciate all the meat you buy. You might be surprised to know that we ship more fatback across the country through our e-commerce website than anything else. So if you're looking for a good source of fatback, contact us at the Naked Pig. Anyways, we have a vision for the chamber. Like Eddie said, over the past 2 years, the chamber has changed a lot. When Eddie first roped me into being part of the chamber, we would sit in a room and drink coffee, and there was, 23 board members, 30 board members? There were a lot of board members. And we didn't feel like we accomplished a whole lot. And so somebody had the bright idea of restructuring. Most effective boards are smaller boards. And so at that time, Preston Gray was our fearless facilitator for 2 long days. And he facilitated this brainstorming session to hash out all the good and the bad and the ugly. And a lot of you folks were there in those planning sessions. And so Eddie said that when I was able to take over Preston's role as vice chair, since he was leaving the community, that I would be hopefully aspiring to follow in Eddie's footsteps. And so here I am now. So I get the benefit of being part of a community. I get the benefit of being a part of a legacy that we want to carry on. But I also get the benefit of helping not screw up what a lot of people have put in place before us. And so we have a great team. We have a tremendous ambassador base for all of the previous Leadership Stanley, graduates, alumni. We're going to reach out to you this year and the next year. We have a lot of responsibility and a lot of good opportunity. And we do. We want to know the data. We want to know how effective we are. We want to help lead economic growth and change, but we also want to be true to our roots. And this is me talking as your new chair. You did vote for me, so thank you for your vote. But I'm reminded, I sat in Attorney Stables in the past, and Secretary of Commerce Decker was here, and she challenged us at that time. She said, look around at what you have in Stanley County, and this speaks to what Jan was saying earlier, is that we have a wonderful community. We have wonderful recreational, wonderful natural resources, and we have wonderful farming resources in this community. And so as we go into the future, we want to be mindful of what makes this community great, and so that we help protect it and continue to grow it. So those are my words. Any questions? All right, so now what we're going to do, because I said we have an awesome team, I would like to, we're going to have team reports from each of our committee chairs. And so I'd like to first have up Carol May, who is our Leadership and Education Committee Chair. And she'll give you a report from this past year and a little looking forward. And then we'll go on from there. Thank you.
Thanks, John. I also want to say congratulations again to Dexter and Jan. Well deserved. Thank you for all you do to our community. My name is Carol May, and I'm the Executive Director of Development at Pfeiffer University. And I'm the chair of the Leadership and Education Committee for the Chamber, and this is the start of my second year on the board. And first, I want to talk about Leadership Stanley. Where's Sean? I want to introduce and recognize Sean Oak, if you don't mind standing. Sean is the chair for the Leadership Stanley Steering Committee, and he's been doing this for a few years now, and it's just a fabulously run program. Keep standing. Are any of steering committee for Leadership Stanley, if you're in the room, if you'll also stand. I know we have a few. And now, anybody who is a graduate of Leadership Stanley, if you'll please stand. I think that shows that this is definitely a leadership program. And I'm in it this year, and if you have to be a chair of a committee at a chamber, get a steering committee like this one, because I don't have to do anything. They're just great. They're very dedicated. They're very committed. They put every single session together every month. We have sessions. I just have to show up on Wednesday and go to the sessions. And then on Friday they all meet and they critique some of the surveys that have come back and decide if there's any little adjustments they need to make for future planning. It's a great, great program, and if you haven't been through it or you haven't put someone through it, please consider doing so. As you see, it's a great leadership opportunity. We haven't changed much of the goals or things just because it does work so well. It's just runs like clockwork. But a few of the things that we are looking for is to continue to strengthen association with the chamber so that people know that this is a chamber-sponsored program to build leadership. This year we tried to increase networking opportunities a little bit more within the retreat and at some of the sessions. We always want to keep this program affordable and to continue to show the value of this program. And finally, the end result is to continue to develop informed leaders for our community. The second committee I want to talk about, when I was here last year, the Chamber had just gone through this major restructuring that you've heard about today. And we had two separate steering committees that we went out the gate with last year. One was work-based learning for internships, mentoring, and shadowing for students from Stanley Community College, Stanley School System, as well as Pfeiffer University. And the second one was for educational opportunities for you as Chamber members. And we did a partnership with the Small Business Center for that. But as the year evolved, we found that these two groups were really overlapping a lot, and that it wasn't clear defined line. So at this year's planning meeting in January, we decided we're going to merge those two steering committees. And that committee now is called the Education Network. And I want to thank Alicia, if you'll stand. Alicia Herring is going to be chairing this year, and if any of her steering committee members are here, if you'll stand or wave. So they have put together a great thing. What I'm really proud of about this committee is that it's a real collaborative nature. People who are meeting with us every other month or every month when we have these meetings are members of the organizations of all of your educational institutions here in Stanley County. We have the school system represented, Pfeiffer represented, the community college represented, and we're putting programs that we collectively present together. So some of our goals on this is to continue to get student connections with your organizations, be it internships, shadowing, mentoring, to utilize some of, and all of you and our strategic partners that are willing to facilitate educational opportunities, and also to provide you with educational opportunities. We would love to hear from you on how we can better serve you, whether it's workshops that you might need. We can come to your businesses, or we can put on things that you can get credits for some of your continuing ed needs. And then to do one work-based learning initiative per quarter. So some of you that are in Oklahoma Rotary are going to see me back up here tomorrow, because that is going to be one of our initiatives tomorrow. But I'm going to turn it over to the experts, which will be a panel discussion called Cultivating Internships. And again, it'll be those organizations that I previously mentioned that are going to tell you about the opportunities that are available. And we've done this panel one other time last fall, and it really just blew my mind how much opportunities there are to build our future leaders in this community, to show the kids starting from 8th grade through higher ed that there are jobs in this community, there are leadership opportunities. We want to get them trained, we want them to be the future leaders, to be on these committees, to be board members, and to stay in Stanley County. So I look forward to hearing some of your ideas and how we can better serve you, and to put together meaningful and valuable programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. My name is Tate Osborne, and this is my second year serving on the leadership board for the chamber. Much the way Ed explained, Tom hooked him. Ed hooked me as well. Not a lot of experience, not knowing what I was getting into. But it's really, truly been a blessing. A lot of smart folks, talented folks in Stanley County. We're really blessed in that way. It's been a pleasure getting to know these guys and work not only the board but members of the chamber as we've gone through. 2016, as many of you know, was an election year. It was a big election year, a very challenging year on the political side of things. We went through some throwing some ideas around, trying to get our feet on the ground, trying to figure out the best way to serve our members. We went back and forth on some things, but we were able to get some things done with our forum and our legislative breakfast, and those events we were able to successfully pull off. Before I go any further, I would like to thank the members of my committee. I have a great committee, a lot of experience. They bring to the committee a lot of ideas, a lot of knowledge, and it's been helpful for me. I know Ms. Jen Louder's with us today. Jen serves on our committee, Lee Pickler and Johnny McManus as well, and they've all contributed greatly to this board and to this committee and helped us get through this year. Looking forward to 2017, we've got some great things planned. We're now currently beginning work on our legislative breakfast, which is planned May the 8th at the E. Waddell Center. We're getting confirmations from our representatives now for that. We look forward to having a very successful breakfast, as always, with that. We're also looking at some different ideas. One of the ideas we're going to bring to you in April is a speaker from the UNC Charlotte Urban Institute. It's going to be speaking on Stanley County and the regional economy. So we're looking to bring some new ideas, since it's not a political, it's not an election year. Some different things that we can do besides just our normal forum. Besides the legislative breakfast for this year, we're also, in the fall, we're also planning a barbecue. We look forward to that, just providing an opportunity for our members and our elected officials to get together, communicate, provide lines of communication so that we get to know our elected officials more than just a name on a ballot. So we look forward to those events. We're going to continue to have some more seminars and some things as we go forward. We're working on that. I know Kathy's working on some of those with us as well. We look forward to having those for our members and our businesses in 2017. And we look for a great year. So again, thank you for allowing me to serve. serve you, and if there's any ideas or anything that you would like to see as chamber members, please let us know. And again, we thank you for that. This time, I'd like to introduce our membership committee chair, Ms. Tracy Hayes.
Thank you. This is my first year as membership chair, so I have a lot to learn. And Michelle Carver did a great job, and I'm going to be calling on her for some assistance. We have 2 committee members that are going to be really helping me out. Nani Luther with Cadillac Signs and Leslie Swain with Polka Dot Owl in Oakboro. We also have just really 2 primary goals. One is to grow our membership, and we have a pretty extensive goal, stretch goal here of getting 50 new members for the year. Sarah Weaver here is the one that has set that goal for us, so we hope to reach that. So far, we do have 11 new members from January till now, so we're on target. The second goal is really to make sure that we retain the members that we have. A lot of times members will join to get the ribbon cutting and the newspaper and radio discounts. And then after the first year, they're really not sure what they're getting through the membership. So we want to make sure we are reaching out to those members either with phone calls or face-to-face meetings and just remind them of what is offered by the chamber, as well as ask them what they would like to see from us, what we can do more for them. And finally, I really just want to thank our ambassadors because they are an integral part of what we're doing. They are the face at our ribbon cuttings. They are helping out with a lot of volunteer work at all the events that Lori's going to talk about. And they are also helping us recruit new members. That's about all we've got going on. Thank you. Lori Ivy is going to talk about events.
Good afternoon. I'm really excited to be here. When Kathy asked me about being on the board, I really wasn't sure, like many others, what this entailed and if I could do the job. So I will certainly lean on those that held this job before me. But I'm excited to work with the membership. The chamber ladies, they have wonderful staff, and that's one of the reasons that I committed to do this, as well as the ambassadors. I don't know that you'll find a group that works harder for an organization than the Stanley County Chamber Ambassadors. My work with the Chamber goes back to 20 plus years. And I don't remember if it was Tom or Mary Ann, but we were doing Leadership Chamber, and we always do an Ag Day. Agriculture is my background. And so I suggested that we go to the Norwood Stockyard. And for those of you who haven't been, it's in Norwood, close to the lake, not a fancy building. And I kind of got, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Because I knew what agriculture meant to this county, and I knew the dollars that flowed through that market. I did give them a few words of wisdom because the first time I visited the market, I didn't know to get into the office you had to climb a ladder. I don't think they still have a set of stairs. I have to make sure you ladies wear slacks. And I'm not sure that the leadership Stanley members knew that they were going to be walking on a catwalk to see the lots of feeder calves that would be sold to many of the farms out west. So my work with the Chamber goes back many years with Leadership Stanley, as well as a program that we used to do, Economics in Action, with our 4-H program. This year we have an exciting year planned. And I won't go into a lot of detail, but I do want to tell you about a few things that we'll be doing. And I hope that you as members will support us in sponsoring events, entering a team or two, or volunteering, because I will be looking for folks that can head up a sporting clays tournament or a golf tournament. And those are some of the things that we'll be doing. So in April, we have a sporting clay tournament that will be held at the Fork Farm on April the 4th, and we hope that we'll have lots of teams entered for that event. The golf tournament in June, and I know I've recruited David Rudisell and maybe Mike Harwood to help me with that event. In the fall, in September, we'll be doing a farm to fork dinner at Market Station. pickleball tournament, which I know nothing about, but I know it's popular in the county, a disc golf tournament, and many, many other events. And we will look to you as members to help support those events, because those events help support the good work of the Stanley County Chamber of Commerce. And lastly, I just want to say a thank you to my staff. I had no idea the extension team, I heard someone when somebody said extension agent, what's that? I'm an extension agent and my staff is here today. I had no idea they were coming, but we are a small but mighty staff, and they support not only me, but this community in so many different ways. You won't find many, I'll say government employees that go to work sometimes when the moon is still out before sunrise and go home to moonlight. They work many, many hours to support the work in this community. So thank you to the Extension team for being here today. Again, I look forward to working with you this year, and I hope that you will volunteer, support a team, or be a sponsor of one of our events in 2017. Thank you.
All right, so we excited? Good stuff. Thank you, team. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of work to continue doing, but I'm excited, and I hope you're excited. I hope you're excited about the changes that have been made, that we get to, that have been made, that we get to benefit from. And are there any comments from the floor? Anybody want to say anything? Could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All right, all in favor of adjourning? All right. All right, I'm going to turn over the floor to Kathy. She's going to do some final concluding comments. And again, we appreciate all of our volunteers, all of our staff, and all of you as community chamber members. Because obviously, if we don't grow membership, we won't be here. So, bring a new member to the chamber. Here's Kathy. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Again, thanks to everyone for being with us again today. Our program sponsors, Stanley Community College, URA Bank, Carolina's Healthcare System Stanley. Our award sponsors, Electric Cities of North Carolina and Duke Energy. I also want to thank Sarah Weaver, our marketing director, for putting together and compiling and publishing a phenomenal annual report that we've not had in years past. I'd like for you to take these with you. I'd like for you to also acknowledge on the back cover our Chamber Champions. These are the corporate sponsors that we have throughout the year, and these are our 16 corporate sponsors that are Chamber Champions. And below this is a list of Chairman's Circle members. These folks give the additional 10% to support the Chamber and its initiatives. Sean talks about members. Roughly 60% of our annual revenue to operate comes from our membership dues. It takes all those other events that Lori's talking about planning and working towards to not only offer networking opportunities for you all in the community, but to help support the work of the Chamber. You'll see lots of things that we do here, and we hope to continue the good work throughout the Chamber. Again, thank you for being here today. We, as community citizens, members of the Chamber, and the community at large, can all be champions for prosperity throughout Stanley County, our region, and beyond. So again, thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.